This is Sneaker Gears. My name is Levi, and today I'm proud to bring you a collection of 11s where really we want to go over the legendary status of the 11 and the generational changes and really pay tribute to probably the best Jordan of all time. So really getting into it, the 11 is iconic for not only stylistic purposes but the timing. It was Jordan's coming back for his second three-peat, and it's one of those shoes that even if somebody doesn't know shoes, for someone who doesn't know Jordans, they look at these shoes and say, hey, is that a Jordan? It just has that iconic flair where Tinker Hatfield actually put performance into this model, not just for style purposes. So we're going to talk about the performance, we're going to talk about the 4 generations, and really talk about how it relates to me personally. So we'll get right into it. The Jordan 10 that preceded the 11 was really not meant for Jordan to wear. They put a lot of the accolades in the bottom, and it was a shoe meant to honor Jordan, but he did surprise everybody. He did come back, and he did drop that double nickel on the Knicks. So it's something that people do love to this day. It is a beautiful shoe, and something that Tinker did was he looked at this overlay, both sides, and said, hey, Jordan's coming back. It needs more cushioning, so they went from 4-foot in heel to full length there. And he needs more support. I need something harder that's going to contain his foot. So that's literally what he did when he wrapped this in the patent leather. It was purely for performance, and it had the beautiful afterthought of just being one of the most memorable shoes ever done. The Jordan 11 kicked off with the Concord edition against the Orlando Magic. Now, this was one of these shoes that you will never forget the first time you see it. No matter who you are, even if you like basketball, even if you don't like sports, or you barely know Jordan's career, you just know of him, you're going to know this shoe. And this first generation really came strong with the ballistic mesh, with your patent leather, full-length air, dual herring pod tractions, where a lot of this stuff, and actually the first time they brought carbon fiber to a shoe, which is a really expensive material where it's, wow, what are they doing to the shoe game? So it's a shame that they actually took that away in a lot of the newer Jordans, but neither here nor there. This is still something by today's standards still holds true. Brand Black, one of the best up-and-coming companies, the new J Crossover 3, uses a ballistic mesh because it is one of the most perfect materials to be strong yet light and automatically molds to your foot, and it shows you how advanced Jordan was even 20 years ago. Now this first generation of really your Concords and your Breds is iconic, and it shows where it started off. Now he did wear what was the Columbias 2 years ago. They call this the Legend Blue. So this is the more recent model. I don't have the OG. My boy Nate has the OG ones that needs a little loving, so we'll bring those back and maybe do a video on those. But even then, this is the first time they put leather on it, and we're not going to see that for quite a few years to come. So this was kind of that first generation when it first came out. Your second generation of 11s came out in around 2000, 2001, where they did re-release a lot of the colors, your Columbias, and most iconic Space Jams. This is an original pair that I wore for my wedding, and that is it. So that's how much I love these, and that's how important they were to me. And these were put right back in the box. Now, I don't have the cool grays simply because I don't like them. So, pretty flat out. Now, people do say, now this isn't OG. Jordan did actually play in these in one game, and he did wear these during the Space Jam movie during those original years. So this is something more of a player edition, which I liken to the low top. This was the first 11 that caught my eye. I'm sorry, it wasn't the Bred, it wasn't the high top. When he wore this after the championship, it was the shoe that I wanted and had to wait almost 20 years to get. So this is my personal favorite 11. It's rocked by absolutely my wedding shoe, and then we'll get into those coming out next for your third generation. Your third generation of 11s came around 2010, 2011, and this Gamma came out in 2013 along those same lines, where they really didn't do too much to improve upon the shoe. What I really like about this is Jordan did what honestly customizers have been doing for years. Really make that sole a little bit bluer, kind of doing a dirty version, but this came from the factory. I think it was well executed, very true to form, they didn't change too much. This came out in 2013, but it's not really to the 4th generation till we start to see a lot of those improvements take a hold, where Jordan and nowadays calls it remastered. All right, your 4th generation of 11s, Jordan really started to hit it out of the park. And technically, you could say this is 4th and 5th gen, and we'll start in order. The 4th gen, the materials on this, they did use kind of a nubuck, which is the first time they've ever done that, where they started using premium materials. That inner material, the back, they use almost like a quilted material, and it's incredibly comfortable. They brought back the comfort. These actually were a lot more comfortable, just like the OGs were, versus that 2010, even the Gammas just didn't have that comfort. Whether they used a thinner airbag, they changed the density of the foam, it wasn't there. So they really brought it back, one with the Pantones, and actually even with the Legends, very close, same year, but this really stepped up a notch, and obviously they should, because this did come in a pack. But really what knocked it out of the park, and you could say this is 5th generation, it is your 72 and 10s. And they did a lot of firsts on this shoe that really made this momentous. They put the first time tumbled leather on it. For the first time, they used actually a metallic badge, not just kind of stamping on there or stitched on. For the first time, they stitched on the back, which is just a beautiful touch. It's not going to rub off like they did many years ago every time you really want to rock an 11. And then on top of that, the interior, they used almost like a micro suede. So it's all these touches where, yes, you're paying more money, but for the first time, Jordan is really trying to deliver upon what you're paying for, where you're getting a beautifully made shoe, very well crafted, where even though they're making thousands of these, they're putting the best craftsmanship they possibly can. And I think these are probably one of the best executed 11s they've ever done. And again, this is the 5th generation going on. So I hope they continue this. I hope they're able to use this and expand to every other retro, because they are doing the remastered series and everything going forward. But they really did set a standard. Hopefully this has kind of been enjoyable, educational. People look at 11s, think they're all the same. No, Jordan's made some huge steps. Just like anything, they do good things, they do bad things, but the 11 is kind of like the youngest daughter in the family. That little girl's going to do nothing wrong to the daddy. So no matter what they do with 11, no matter what colorways, people are going to love it, people are going to buy it. But it's nice to know that Jordan is not just treating these how the old Wrigley and Cubs team used to be. People are going to come anyway, who cares? You know, they're treating it with respect, and they're bringing the best material and best craftsmanship possible. Hope you enjoy it. This is Levi with Sneaker Gears. Please like, comment, hit us back with your feedback, and we'll come at you next time.